Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to the Minecraft update videos. They have some pretty good news to share with you all because a brand new snapshot or beta update just came out for Minecraft Java Edition. It's called 19W078 because it's the first snapshot in the 7th week of 2019. And although usually in these update big roundups once a week, I like to go through all of the news of the past week. Most of the news in this past week has led up to and really has included the fox, which is a brand new mob found in this update. So I'm going to be talking about the fox, its behaviors that exist so far, and just all the good stuff to do with it, because there isn't just one brand new mob that came in this snapshot. There's one mob they announced. There's also a secret second mob because there's also an Arctic fox. In today's video, we'll be talking about both those mobs and what exactly is going on with the behaviors so far, because there's a lot of interesting things to say about the foxes, and that's what we're going to be doing, hopefully, at least in today's video. I hope you all do enjoy it. You can like this video if you do like Minecraft news, because it helps out the channel a lot, and let us know you do like these videos when we dive into it bit by bit. So let's start by mentioning just how many brand new mobs there are in 1.14 already, because we've seen the pandas, we've seen all the new types of villagers, you know, there are dozens of different varieties of them. We've seen 9 new types of cats, but then as well as that, we've also now seen a fox with the Arctic fox variant. So yeah, it is worth noting that although the fox, is looking like this in most of the promotional pieces, if you do find a fox during the day, odds are it's going to look more like this, because foxes are a nocturnal animal in Minecraft. They mostly operate at night. If they wake up during the day or you spawn them in, they're going to act, live their life during the day, but they're most happily found in their asleep pose, which they'll usually do if they, can find a block to sleep underneath. In these cases, they're spawned in like that, but if this, mob could find a block to just settle underneath, he would also want to go to sleep, because that's what foxes do. So yeah, how do you spawn in foxes? I mean, obviously, like, you'll find them more at night, but they'll spawn any time of day. But what exactly do you have to do is try and find these guys? And as you might imagine by the fact that these came in with the tiger vote at Minecon Earth, that's right, we as a community, or like not me because I voted Savannah like any sane human being, but as a community, people voted for the tiger biome to be upvoted and to be updated. And one of the big parts of a tiger biome update was to have the foxes spawn there, so they'd have some form of life. So yeah, as you might imagine, go to a tiger biome and you'll find yourself a fox. It's really, really crazy like that. But also, they'll sometimes spawn around villages just to kind of update the interesting thing there. And unlike most mobs that Minecraft has really added, where immediately afterwards they felt kind of hollow and pointless, like llamas for the most part and pandas, and mobs like that, where it's like, why do these exist again? Polar bears are another great example. Foxes actually are quite interesting because they fit into the food chain in a really, really weird way. So for the rest of this video, we're going to be going into creative just so we can actually more easily deal with the foxes. And that is because a lot of the fox's behaviors are altered by being around player characters or being around people. So what you want to do generally is, hop into creative if you want to just see this behavior in action. But yeah, foxes are a really interesting mob in Minecraft because they have a whole food chain kind of dedicated to them. You might think like, well, I mean, wolves will kill skeletons, for instance, or like cats will, kill various different mobs, parrots, for instance. But foxes are quite interesting because they have a mob that chases them and a mob they like to chase. So, for instance, by the way, look, cats will also kill chickens, but for instance, if you have some foxes and you have some chickens, then let me tell you, the fox is going to go right after the chickens, and they even have an attack specifically designed to circumvent any farms you have. In fact, even if you have double layered fences, you have a crazy Fort Knox style, thing, foxes will be able to get over there, and the usual best way for them to activate this is to punch the fox. He goes crazy, he spins around, and then eventually he's going to try and get into this fox pen, or maybe he's just going to go to sleep or climb up a tree, apparently. Again, so foxes are super weird in this update. I do think they're going to be updated and they're going to be changed because this is not normal behavior, but basically, yeah, they will be able to go after chickens if we let one inside there. That you'll spot something really interesting, because foxes are not only an animal which can chase chickens and chase them over fences, as has been shown, but they're also the first animal, I believe, in the game that actually eats the mobs it kills. So, if you're the sort of person who's like, oh yeah, it's okay to, kill animals as long as you eat them afterwards, then foxes fit that definition, because if they kill a mob, say a chicken, they'll eat the chicken. As you can see, that fox is physically eating the chicken, or to be more precise, the fox is holding the chicken in its mouth, because like I said, the foxes are on two ends of a kind of a food chain. They'll eat berries in the same way. They really love berry bushes, and they'll eat chickens, and again, they'll put it in their mouth. But the interesting thing about foxes is they'll pretty much eat anything you want, or pretty much any type of food, and they even sometimes spawn, as we'll see right here, with foods inside their mouth. I believe that's an egg they have in their mouth right there. Oftentimes you'll find them with wheat in their mouths, which is another interesting one, or feathers, or just things that they might, leather in this case, because you get a cow, it looks looks like maybe, or the cow remains, and sometimes you'll even find them with emeralds in their mouth. It's crazy, but it is in fact true, but you can find them with so many different items inside their mouths, and that is because foxes are a very, very bizarre mob. They'll pick up pretty much anything you find on the ground. So to make this even weirder for you, if I throw my fox spawn egg on the ground, one of the foxes, they're going to come through here, and they're going to pick it up, and one of them will now have a fox spawn egg in their mouth. That's right, the fox is the first animal to eat other fox eggs, but no, it's kind of a weird thing in that regard. They also, again, this is the weirdest behavior in my opinion too, they'll also, if you leave them to it, they'll eat your diamonds, or at least put your diamonds in their mouth, because again, foxes, if they find something and they have a free spot in their mouth, they might as well pick up the item and run away with it. That's right, foxes really can just take away your diamonds. So you know the achievement, like from me to you, for throwing diamonds to our friends, now that gets more complex because foxes can take your diamonds off you. So yeah, so far we've gone over the fact that they'll spawn in a few weird places. Their behavior means they're nocturnal for the most part. If they can find shelter, they prefer to. They're on two ends of a food chain, and that's not just because they eat berry bushes, they eat any food, they eat chickens, but also because there is a mob that likes to chase them. Can you guess what it is? Because it wasn't intuitive to me, but it's the wolf. If you have a wolf, the wolf will chase the foxes. However, foxes are just so much faster than wolves, so it's not really like your fox is gonna be killed by wolves. Again, look how fast he's gotten away right there. It's absurd. Oh, he's actually been trapped in a corner. But you can see how wolves will try to kill foxes, but usually won't be successful. Speaking of trying to kill foxes and not being successful, if you punch a fox, they are the fastest mob I've seen in the game. Again, I don't know if this is a glitch or by design, but if you punch a fox, they run so fast, like to the point where even in creative mode, you can't properly catch these fellas. Like they're so absurd. They have really weird physics, how they jump on things. Look at this. Like what is happening here right now? Again, very clear to me that they need to be worked on, but it's still kind of fun regardless. And just, yeah, so chased by foxes, like to eat chickens, like to eat other mobs, and also, weirdly enough to me, Mojang actually decided to implement something which is partially true in real life. It's a really weird experiment that has been happening in Russia for quite some time now, but basically it's to do with domesticated foxes. So most animals in Minecraft cannot be really domesticated. Sometimes they just become neutral to you. Foxes are kind of in this, we would like to not be near you mode for the most part. But if you breed two foxes together, they breed with berries, because it gives berries more of a use than they previously have. Again, I like that the foxes add something else to there. The offspring will actually be basically domesticated. Not so to the level where it follows you around and kills skeletons for you or anything like that, but the baby will be entirely okay with you. And again, this is actually a real experiment that's happened in Russia. It's really fun. You can look up YouTube videos or just look into it because it's weird, because domestication is something we really have only done for a few animals. It's been like hundreds of years since we last domesticated something, and foxes are in that process of being heavily domesticated right now. And although they're nowhere near as good as like a dog or a cat, they will exist in the room with you and be somewhat friendly with you. By the way, don't get a fox as a pet. They're terrible. They're like bad dogs that also kind of hate you a little bit. The worst of dogs and the worst of cats in that way. But basically, yeah, you can see how like, oh yeah, foxes in Minecraft take off that same trait. And I don't know if this is just like by accident, or maybe like it's an intentional thing. At I love that if you have a baby fox that you bred yourself and you were around when it was born, it will kind of follow you in that particular way. So yeah, or at least not mind you in that particular way. And I just love that as a piece of behavior. So yeah, you can breed foxes, unlike a lot of other mobs which people felt were useless. You get a baby which will actually have a use because the baby will not hate you. So, has some real use to collecting these foxes, and then there's all the other benefits, downsides, etc., which just make it a really fun mob to have, in my opinion. So, if you want to have a fox because you think they'd be cute and you think like, oh yeah, we'll make a little shelter for them and then they'll go to sleep or whatever, then this is the perfect way to do that. Side note, a lot of people have been hating on the fox model as a whole, because if you look at the eyes on this thing, a lot of people really, really do not like it. It's like, oh, well, Mojang added a great new mob that for once seems to have, actual thought put on, but on the other hand, look at those eyes. Look how far apart they are. So it's just, I found that to be funny. Again, that one it came from the Reddit actually, where you can learn a lot of new stuff about updates like this one, which is what I recommend. But yeah, so that is for the most part everything to do with foxes. They will pounce on berry bushes and try to kill them, and they'll pounce on chickens and try to kill them, and they'll take anything that you have, including your diamonds. Again, I want to clarify, not just an accident, sometimes piece behavior. They'll do it all the time. But on the flip side, it's a new source of emeralds. It's a new source of weird spawning behavior. It's a new source of weird pack behavior as well, it seems, because they're just running around the group here. And then also, as well as that, we've got a new rare event piece of behavior. Although foxes will spawn naturally and do weird things like you're seeing right here in regular taiga biomes, you might imagine there's a way to get that other one, and there definitely is. Oh, wait a minute, what's happening here? By the way, this is a fun little interaction you see in taiga biomes, because both the wolf and the fox spawn here naturally. But yeah, if we bounce out of here, alongside these foxes right here, All you have to do if you want to get some of the second rarer variant of foxes is find yourself one of these, a snowy tiger biome, because again, tiger biome implies spruce trees and implies that sort of stuff, but you also can find these in snowy variants, usually attached to snow plains or some other type of cold biome like that, and inside these you'll find, just like I found right now, a Arctic fox. So yeah, Arctic foxes are pretty cool. Also, you can see they're brutal, they're mean to everything they find around them, but yeah, they are they're a brand new mob found this update that a lot of people aren't going to know about. And if you want to get one of these in legitimate survival, you need to find one of these biomes. So again, a biome which otherwise just existed as a snowy version of another biome. In my opinion, this is probably the better one anyway, but a biome that a lot of people don't know about or really care about, again, it's just a regular biome but covered in snow, now has its own unique kind of functionality beyond the rabbits, beyond stuff like that, because I feel like unlike rabbits, a lot of people will want to have foxes as pets. Again, maybe I'm entirely wrong about that. I think there's a really good chance that like all of the other previous mobs that Mojang has added, that this one will just kind of sit in the, it might fade into obscurity a little while after the update, but yeah, it is worth mentioning that foxes be crazy. They have really weird behaviors. You can see they jump onto chickens like that. All video I've been trying to get this to happen, and then at the end here, just by accident, it kind of happens. It's weird, it's laggy, it's glitchy, but it's super fun to watch, right? Like, they get stuck in the snow too. It's just adorable. There's not much really else to say about it besides this is the strangest piece of Minecraft behavior we've seen in quite some time, and yeah, this is one of the strangest mobs we've seen in quite some time. Will it be enough to make people actually care about it more than, 10 minutes after the update comes out? I really hope so, because I think foxes are great, but they're not the only thing this update. Again, this is a mega update video, but it's mostly just like this week has been people hinting about foxes all week. However, there is a little bit of a hint which I couldn't necessarily spot myself, because one of the brand new developers at the Minecraft Bedrock team in Seattle, Redmond, the Minecraft office that works on the Bedrock version primarily, has been tweeting out something, and he tweeted out something very bizarre today. That's a new feature I've been adding to Bedrock, and I'm not quite sure what it was. I've seen a lot of people be also confused about this. So there's a big new hint about something, and maybe that immediately hit you as like, yes, this new thing I'm excited for. But something new was hinted in this picture, and I'm really not necessarily sure what it is, but it's again, it's kind of cool. There's a new developer, it does seem, and you might want to follow him if you like following Minecraft developers. Also, there's a new position for Minecraft UK Community Manager. So if you want to manage the Minecraft UK community and you have you feel like you got the experience, you can apply to Microsoft directly and maybe potentially get that job. Also, it's worth mentioning the snapshot isn't technically just about foxes. I mean, 99.9% of what you care about this update is the foxes, but now there is a new way to enable the narrator in Minecraft, which is Control and B. And if you do that, as you can see, narrator enabled, and that means that we can do stuff like, if we type in the chat, for instance, the narrator is going to read it out.
Toycat says, hello, I'm Ibstoycat.
That's exactly what I say. The narrator knows me. Also, if you go to the menu.
Options, button. Save and quit to title button. Back to game button.
So yeah, as you can see, it's a high quality feature, one I definitely intend to use all the time in my Minecraft worlds. That's obviously a joke. There's also a lot of bug fixes in this update as well, and just basically, yeah, this is an update 99% about foxes. Today's video was 99% about foxes, but again, I always try to cover the rest of the Minecraft news. It's just in this week's case, most of the news was people being like, oh, there's foxes coming soon, eh? We've had a lot of sneak peeks, and if you want to hear about sneak peeks for things like future updates, if you want to learn about whatever this new feature is as soon as we can decipher as a community, the best way to do so is via Twitter, twitter.com/IBXToycat, because of course I do use the YouTube community posts sometimes, but again, that's a weird kind of system. If you want to guarantee you see things, even if you don't have a Twitter account, sign up for Twitter, just follow me, and then you can turn on notifications, and you'll see every time I tweet something, and sometimes even like new videos and streams and stuff, because tomorrow, just to add to the Minecraft news, to add something that's kind of like Toycat news, I wanted to talk about the fact that tomorrow, for Valentine's Day, I'm going to be your Valentine. That's right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to be making a farm that goes from basically regular height all the way up to the maximum, the top of the world. We're making a giant wheat farm. It'll mostly be dirt placing tomorrow, but maybe we'll do a little bit of the preliminary hoeing, etc. And we're going to be doing it in a live stream, talking with all of you, because I've decided that I'm going to be the Valentine to all of you, and you're going to be my Valentine. It's going to be great, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 8 PM UK time. So set an alarm for 23 hours after this video went live, or just, I don't know, Google 8 PM UK time and set an alarm for then, because I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's live stream. Thank you very much for watching today's video though. Hope you learned something new about foxes, and if you didn't, then I guess I hope you have a wonderful evening, ? Okay, goodbye.
Hello, it is me the Fox. It is of the utmost importance that you subscribe to Elgato. If you do not subscribe to Elgato, then I will probably take your diamonds away. Also make sure to smash that bell icon so you are notified daily.